We didn't really grow up poor because our dad was a chess master. Let me tell you guys a true story.
Our mother and father got divorced. Dad stayed in America to play chess. We moved to Luton, England, lived in a house.
Homeless shelter first for 2 years.
Homeless shelter along with all the Kosovans at the time. There was a Kosovan crisis.
Yep.
We were with the Kosovans. Then we moved into a council house. Mother was on the dole. She ended up getting a job as a dinner lady one time. That was it. We were raised on $300 a month. Our father was a professional chess player, driving from chess tournament to chess tournament in a Pontiac Sunbird. Sometimes he won, sometimes he lost. A lot of the time he slept in the car. Had a couple thousand here maybe, but then he had to play chess with it for the next 3 or 4 months, driving across America from California to New York in a busted up Pontiac Sunbird, playing chess and winning games. I've been with my dad when he would go to the park with no food, no money for food, and go to the park and have to hustle the chess park players for fucking $50. And he'd do it because he was a G. And he was not afraid of shit. And I put lots of stories on my channel, Tate Speaks, about him and how the time he got jumped in Detroit and the way he spoke and how hard he was and how he was a genius and hard to kill, etc. Very much like myself. Never had any fucking money. No money. Because he wasn't interested in money. He wanted to play chess. As long as he had gas and food, that's all he cared about. He was a nomadic warrior, Spartan, old school. So the idea that we come from money, absolute and utter fallacy.
It's offensive. I was 21 years of age. This is not long ago. 21 years of age. Yesterday was my birthday. And me and Andrew, what did we eat on my birthday?
KFC.
Why did we eat KFC? Because when I was 21, me and Andrew used to have no food. I used to drive my broken Volkswagen Golf to the KFC restaurant in Dunstable, United Kingdom. And I used to sit in my car. And you couldn't ever eat anyone's leftover food if they ever had their mouth on it. But at KFC, they used to buy buckets. And I would sit and wait for people to sit outside, eat their meal, and leave the bucket on the table. And I used to go and take that bucket, 3 or 4 pieces of chicken. And I used to collect 20, 30, 40 pieces of chicken that were perfectly fine left in the buckets. And I used to go home and I used to freeze that chicken. And me and Andrew would break it up, put it in our rice. And that was our meal. That's what sustained us for that hard year. That year we had when I was 21 and you were 22. That's how broke we were. I used to scavenge chicken from KFC because I thought, fuck it, I'm not dying and I'm not losing my kickboxing fights because I don't have enough protein. What am I going to do to make it through the day? That's how broke I was. And that's a sad story if you never make it out. To me, that's a happy story. That's a story of triumph. Now it's like, hey, Andrew, it's my birthday. What we doing? KFC? And it's a big joke. We sit there eating our KFC laughing about how we used to scavenge KFC chicken.
We're sitting there eating rice every day thinking this is the cheapest thing we can eat. We have no fucking money. But we need some meat. How can we get meat? I became world champion without even fucking food. And you got these kids with millions and millions and millions. He ain't got a 6-pack. Say I'm glad I was broke when I was young, because if I was rich back then, with my mindset, I would have been an even better kickboxer. But these kids who make all this money and they don't do shit, it's ruined them. Now they're just soft. They're going to stay soft. Life's been too easy. They've had no trauma, no struggle. If you want to be a man, you need to go through some real shit. And you have to go through some trauma and use it, internalize it, and that's what turns you into a man. Yeah. If you're a man who's never had hard times, you're not a very good man. Any man who's had an easy life is going to fall and collapse in the face of adversity. And the whole point of being a man, the whole point of masculinity is the ability to resist. That is the whole point. So, yeah, you're right. That's not a sad story. That's a very, very happy story for us. We laugh about it.
Proud of myself.
I'll tell you the coolest thing about being rich. The coolest thing about being rich is, remember when I was broke, 15 grand for dinner? We never had 15 grand in our savings account in our lives. Do you remember that time we were living off those 10p packs of noodles for 2 weeks? That's all it is. Having money in and of itself really isn't that interesting. You buy the house, you buy the car, you buy the watches, you buy some clothes, blah, blah. It's boring. It's only cool to sit there with my brother in the fucking Nurse restaurant with Salt Bae being an idiot, spending 15 G's, and saying, do you remember when we didn't have a penny? Do you remember? You need this juxtaposition. There is no light without dark. You will not appreciate your 6-pack unless you didn't have one and you had to earn it. That's how the world works. So when I talk to these dudes like, oh, but it's, you know what, Tate, yeah, I agree, but you know, it's hard. It's hard. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. It is what it is. That's the game. But I made myself this way. I wasn't born this way. I absolutely and utterly made myself this way. And any single one of you men out here can do the same thing. I don't want to plug too hard, but inside the War Room, this is what we teach. The War Room is the only organization in the world in which we kick out members every single month. Every other membership club, every other group you can join, you can pay your money, you can sit around and pretend you're getting progress, right? It's like signing up to a gym. They'll take your membership even if you've never done it.
Facts.
Not the War Room. Myron has a link to the War Room on here, and you'll learn inside the War Room that there are things you must do. You must complete tasks to succeed and survive. If you do not survive, you are kicked. Because I refuse to have cowardice around me. It's my organization. Everyone else in there, the thousands of men in there, think and act and work hard like I do. We're not having no pussy fucking holding on to coattails. That's what the War Room's about. The War Room's about that bravery and that male competition. It's impossible to be in a highly competitive environment and massively fail like most of these dudes are failing. And if you're not cut out for it, then fuck off and live a normal existence and die. Sit there, letting other men enjoy the spoils of being a man and fucking die. If that's what you want to do, is just sit there and exist and then fade into history unremembered. That's your decision. If you want to level up your character, then you need to get out here and do it. You need to be around brave men. You need to get some balls. You need to get your network together. You need to be paying attention to things like the Fresher Fit podcast. Listen to the truth. Humble yourself. Stop sitting there with an ego. Realize you ain't shit. Most of you fuckers could go look in the mirror right now. And if you were totally honest with yourself, go look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and say, if I was a hot bitch, would I fuck me? And the answer for most of you is no. So you can't be mad at women. They've got eyes. They see the same shit you see right now. And they just don't, the answer's fucking no. You ain't got shit worth fucking, my friend. I'm telling you now, I have zero sympathy for most of you guys because the lives you live are the lives you have built for yourselves. You've built it for yourself from head to toe. You're nothing but lucky. Bacteria could have stole your eyesight at the age of 3, and it didn't. You could have been in a car crash and lost both your parents. Never happened. You've been nothing but lucky. Blind luck has given you a favorable hand, and you've managed to fuck it up. And then you want to message me and ask, how do I get pussy? You don't deserve any fucking pussy. Damn. I deserve it all.
You know the answer is to stop doing things that waste your time and apply yourself to something important. Now, clearly, it's like Googling how to get fit, like you just said. Everyone knows what a push-up is. Do 10,000 of them a day. Stop wasting your fucking time. You know, I've never had to deal with procrastination. I've never had to deal with not being motivated because what is the alternative? Literally, be a loser forever? You already know the fucking answer.
I can't live that way. I would refuse to live that way. It's a disgrace to my bloodline. It's a disgrace to my parents who struggled to raise me for me to be anything other than the best version of myself. That's honor. I have honor to my last name and to my ancestry. It would be disgusting for them all to have fought saber-toothed tigers so I can wake my lazy ass up, jerk off all day, and ask on YouTube how I can stop being a fucking loser.